just wanted to express how much God has changed things for me. So it's like a huge difference. I can't even explain it, because I feel like he's like okay, so it was just last week. I just tweaked one thing in my life, and that was pretty much it. I went to church, and that was actually on Easter. And, I paid my tithing. But what happened was, it like healed me from my depression. Like, it's kind of interesting, It's like, I have like a protection, like an emotional and spiritual protection. So I think that maybe when I was going through that, I was like, maybe it was like some kind of spiritual attack or something like that. But it's like, I don't feel it anymore. But the cool thing is, it's like God just started opening up my life. Just like even a week, y'all, I can't even explain it. Within 1 week, he like completely started opening up my life again. Okay, so he started introducing me to things. Like, his spirit's been with me. He's been inspiring me. Just kind of like also taking me off of my normal route. And it, okay, so here's one example. He inspired me to go to the thrift shop and look right in the DVD section. I looked right in the DVD section, and I saw this thing called Life. That was the first thing that popped up in my head. The first thing that popped up. And I was thinking it was like the one with Eddie Murphy, like the really funny one. It's like, hey, you gonna eat your cornbread? So I thought it was actually that movie, but I looked, and then when I looked at the front of it, it said Orrin Woodward and Chris Brady. And I was like, what? Because, like, when I was living in Austin, I joined this MLM, and I just liked the people. Now, I wasn't really, like, feeling the business, although they're not doing that business anymore. They're just doing, leadership training. But, like, 2006 or whatever? So, yeah, I was a part of their team. I was under their leg in the MLM. And I wasn't, like I say, I wasn't really passionate about building that particular business, but I was just passionate about the leadership and the information, because I haven't seen that like in anywhere, like in any MLM. And so it was just like, it would like really like got me thinking differently. And it was just like, it was teaching me how to be successful in life. So I got that DVD, and it's like, it has 3 DVDs in there. It's like a set. And it's just basically talking about how you can be successful. Not to mention, God led me to another book. It was on Saturday. This is actually before I went to church, but I was like reading my scriptures, and I was like completely just like handing my life over to the Savior. I was just like, it's like, my life is in your hands. Like, I cannot do it. I'm not equipped. Like, no matter how many times I try, like, I don't like succeed. I don't like fulfill my goals. It's just like, I'm an emotional wreck, And so that was on Saturday, which was actually like around Good Friday. It was like the day after Good Friday. So I was already getting in the spirit of it, and I was already taking upon like the atonement and just allowing the Savior to guide me in my life. Well, he took me to an LDS bookstore and led me straight to this book. And the book was about willpower. And it was talking about like how, willpower is not enough to be successful. And it's just like, this book is like so powerful. And it started like, and the guy that wrote it, he's like a psychologist. So like, he's religious, or not, I wouldn't call it, that's like a bad word, not really religious, but he's like connected, like he's a Christian, but he is a psychologist. So he understands how the brain works. And he talks a lot about like why people fail when they try to set goals for themselves. And it's just like, whoa, it's just like completely just got me thinking differently. And I could already start to feel a shift. And then then God, guided me to the thrift shop. I mean, I found the DVD. It was only $3.99. Now, these DVDs are expensive. I mean, that, like, seriously, that set probably could have been, like, worth, I don't even know. It's like, I think I'm not sure. I forgot. But the thing is, though, the information I'm getting is from people that actually have walked the walk. Not people that just like, that have taken like a college degree on it. It's like people that have lived the life where they can, like, they're equipped and they have the credentials to be able to actually give people advice on how to be successful, because it becomes like just a part of you. Like no matter what, as soon as you have that mindset and you look at life differently, and you know how to just like look at life in general, then all of a sudden, like everything that you do, it's like you're gonna be like successful at everything. So success is a mindset, you know. So basically, like no matter where you're at, it doesn't matter. You know, if you're working at a sandwich shop, if you're working, like no matter what, if you apply those principles, you will move up completely, you know. So anyway, I just feel like it really has changed me. And you know, that's like my niche in life. Like I've always really been drawn to sales. And the reason why I like sales is because it kind of reminds me of like the American dream, like the real American dream, where it's like you're your own entrepreneur, and it's like you think outside the box. Pretty much you are your own boss. And at the end of the day, like, I mean, I noticed that my personal development, it just like expands because it allows me room to do it, you know, versus like the clock in and clock out job. It allows me to like really assess myself and say, okay, well, I need to improve in this. So, and you know, I get like the best information ever, like when I'm like doing like a sales job. But the key is, so it's like I'm developing those skills right now, and I'm like, you know, finding the right books and getting information in the right place of people that actually have done it. You know, not people that have just like, you know, okay, taken a college degree, I can tell you how to be successful. Okay. No. Like real people that have been able to turn something into like pure gold. So, that's where I'm getting the information. So, I've just always been passionate. I've always wanted to learn how to like, I mean, I want to be wealthy without question. Like, but it's not wealth itself, where it's like, it's not really like I'm driven by wealth in general. It's just like the whole lifestyle and the mindset. It's like, cause I remember like when I was living in Austin, I was surrounded by like wealthy people all the time. Like I was like, my friends were like multimillionaires. Now that was like in the MLM. I never like, you know, had the passion to build that business just cause I wasn't really passionate about the product in itself. I mean, I think it was a good product, but it just wasn't my cup of tea. So anyway, but it was just like, I was surrounded by people. The way they thought in life was just so refreshing. They were just so positive. And it was just like, the things that they talked about were different than like, you know, the people that, you know, are not really trying to be successful. They're just, you know, the clock in and clock out job. I mean, and it's no hate to that either, because like that's cool, man. That's like, you know, if that is someone's path, there's nothing wrong with that path. However, my path is not the clock in, clock out job. Like that's just not me. And I love being around people that like to stretch and like to grow and like to just rely on their skills alone and you know, just be driven, but at the same time like just good moral people. Like I like people that have morals and values, you know, like honest, you know, just like people. Yeah, I mean, to me that's like a breath of fresh air. But anyway, yeah, so I kind of miss that because I like here in Utah, I don't know, I just kind of like found myself in isolation a little bit, kind of getting myself like in the routine where it's just like, you know, I was expecting like something to change in my life, but I wasn't like doing the things that it needed to take to change. But really though, it's not that hard. Like succeeding in life is truly not that difficult as it seems. And success is not necessarily about a target or an aim. It's just living the lifestyle, being around, you know, successful people, being around, just like getting that information and just, you know, tapping into that. So I don't know. So anyway, okay, so Heavenly Father, He introduced me to that. But also what happened today is He inspired me to go to the gym and I was talking to this, you know, this person that, you know, does the signing up for you to, you know, get a gym membership. And, you know, it really, like, I just love the environment of a gym. So that's like my first and foremost important thing that I could ever do for me is like my health. So, but I was thinking, like, in my head, I'm like, okay, God, like, how am I going to do this? Because, you know, I wanted to get like a personal trainer. Like, I wanted to go all out, get my personal trainer, you know, go every week. Like, I wanted to be accountable to somebody because that's what I need right now. Because, like, you know, there's that saying where it's like, you can't expect to change things if you're not, like, or doing the same thing expecting different results. So, like, I already know I've done the path where it's like I try to do things on my own, like, you know, trying to be healthy, but, you know, since I had an eating disorder, it's a little bit more difficult. So instead, I need a personal trainer for me right now. So it's like $34 a week. But then I started, like, calculating, and, like, you know, I feel like God was helping me and just realizing, like, okay, well, I'm spending my money unnecessary right here. And so then all of a sudden, because I made that goal and I put it as a priority, like, okay, you know, my health and getting, you know, in shape is like the first and foremost thing I could ever do. Like, this is like really important because then it's going to help me be that much more confident to be successful at other things, you know. And I think that, you know, because I'm a size 10 right now, but I think that it has held me back because it just, like, I don't feel as confident, you know, because I'm not in, like, my complete healthy state where I'm, like, really toned and really fit, you know, and I have, like, a huge, like, a high metabolism, and it's just, like, I'm feeling really good within my body. So I'm not going to, like, you know, try to act like it doesn't matter, because it does matter. So that's the first and foremost thing. So I'm investing in that. And because I decided to make that an investment and said, you know what, it is worth it. I mean, it's $128 a month that I'm going to have to pay, you know, to get a personal trainer. But, you know, I asked myself, is it worth it? And then all of a sudden what happened was then I started to start taking away from other things that I was spending my money on. Like, I was like, you know, I don't need to go to the movies because, like, you know, today's Saturday and I could have spent a lot of money. I could have, like, went to, like, you know, Provo or, you know, took a trip down to Salt Lake. But because I had a goal in mind, I said that really that's not necessary, you know. And so I just kind of, like, reserved my money and, you know, decided that I'm going to eat healthy, but I'm not going to, like, go to the extreme where it's like I'm doing, like, all this, like, cuisine, raw food and stuff. Because, like, I'm telling you, it's just, like, I'm assessing where I'm at right now and saying, okay, you know, I have this amount of money, and, you know, I realize what works for me right now, and simple meals where I can make it, but it's cheap, you know, spending like $35 a week instead on food. Because I know some people that spend, you know, like $70 for like a whole month. I was asking people around me at my job, I'm like, how much do you spend on your groceries a week? And this one girl, like, she cooks for like four people. She said $35. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. How do you do it? And she says, well, I go to this store, you know, and I make sure I get things on sale. And she makes all of her meals that are all home cooked. And, like, me, on the other hand, I've been, like, going out to eat, you know, but not even like that. I would go to, like, a restaurant. And then, like, I would go to the movies and treat myself to a little dessert, or get myself a soda, which is like freaking $1.30. And so then all of a sudden I started calculating all that money that I was spending that I didn't need. And it was just, that money was like a stress reliever. And then I started thinking, like, okay, all that money that I'm spending on a stress reliever, instead, I could be spending it at the gym, which is a stress reliever, but it's benefiting me and it's helping my future. So it's just, like, it's really cool because, like, you know, God is helping me not get, it's like what he did is he took, like, he protected my emotions so that I wasn't so emotional, or I didn't, like, you know, like, if I got sad, I didn't get, like, really sad, or, you know, like, he healed the depression. Because if he didn't heal the depression, I wouldn't have been able to do any of that, you know. So it's like it took God to do that. So I could have still been trying to work on these goals, like, okay, I can go to the gym, but I wouldn't have been in an emotional, healthy state, and I wouldn't have been able to stick to it. So what I'm trying to say here is, God is powerful. It's like he wants us to do what we need to do. Like, he inspires us, and it's important for us to do the action part, but at the same time, it's like that the God part is so important. And if we try to do things without God, there's just certain things that we cannot do that God can do for us. He is the one that can open up doors for us. Yes, it's our duty to develop our skills, but it's him that can open up the door. So I'm a living testimony that God healed my depression. It's not there anymore. And he completely opened my future. So anyway, I hope that everybody has a wonderful day, and y'all take care. Bye.